guess I'm just getting so confused by it. So I think my problem is I just want to create the ultimate thing straight away. I don't want to have to go through a series of failures to get it, because I find failures depressing. But having said that, working like that doesn't work, you know? It just means you don't get anything done, and then you just make a huge risk at the end of the year when you try and do something, and sometimes it won't turn out. I mean, I've been pretty lucky that most of the time it has worked out, but I've like become so stressed during the process of it, and like it actually probably stresses me out that I'm not doing anything. I really want to, at the same time I don't know what to do, which is just stressing me out. And you know, everyone's just like, well, do something, just do something, but I can't do something when I don't like it, I don't have any interest in it. And I think maybe I just need to start at something that I have enjoyed doing in the past, which would be good. But it's always annoying going back because you feel like you're not going forwards, but at least you're starting, so maybe I really should do that. But at the same time I feel like I don't have time at the moment because I've got these bloody essays to do and it's 12:30 already, and I've just sat in bed thinking all morning. Lazy. And but anyway, back to Madeline's video. I want to talk about like obsessive behaviour, I guess, because what with my relationship issues at the moment, if you've been watching my blogs you'll probably be aware of. So back to that actually. I'm going around in circles, and sorry if this is hard for other people to follow, it's just the ADD, it's not my fault, not my fault. But yeah, this thing with the videos, it's really odd. It's like, in a way, I don't mean this in a like really self-obsessed way, but it's like being a celebrity. Because with Emily, like, she'd already seen my video before we like spent the day together, and like, because I'd just been talking about a lot of the stuff that was on my mind at the moment, like, she knew everything about me, and it was really weird. Like, we'd be talking, and then I'd start saying something about, like, you know, my relationship troubles, or like what I'm trying to do at the moment with like stop being less critical and things like this, and like she already knew all that stuff because she'd watched this, and it was like, she's like, oh, this must be what like celebrities feel like when like random people just go up to the street and feel like they know them because they've heard them, but we haven't actually had any like social interaction, so it's just weird. And also it's really weird being with someone who's watched that and seen this personal aspect of me who I don't actually know that well. Like in the pub on Thursday, I can't remember who it was because I was a little bit tipsy, but someone came up to me and started talking, like said something about it, and like it's the oddest thing because you want to be like, you know, you want to talk about it and want to like show that you are interested in their sort of reaction to it, but at the same time it's really embarrassing that they know that because it's such a personal thing. And I know, like, I'm not an idiot, it's not like I didn't know that people would watch it, but by just having it like this, I don't have to realise that people are going to watch it. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, it was odd. Yeah, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, obsessive behaviour. Yeah, so I was writing a letter to Rich, which obviously I can't send because we're not meant to be having contact. It's really pathetic. I've written 2 now. Yesterday was the 2nd, and letters, just like when I really miss him, I just start writing a letter of what I'm thinking about, which is quite good because the letters in a way are like part of a diary. I might photocopy them and keep them because hopefully at Christmas when I do see him I'll be able to give them to him, hopefully, if he still wants to be with me. Oh, how depressing. The weirdest thing is I'm not depressed, it's the oddest thing. But yeah, in these letters I was just talking about obsessive behaviour. Oh, I also want to get onto religion in this thing. I was about to say, like, remind me, and I remembered I was talking to myself. Oh dear. Like, yeah, let's go back to obsessive behaviour, because maybe that goes with it. But yeah, Van video was talking about, like, I mean, it was more talking about, you know, how children who've grown up in like an alcoholic environment have sort of developed quite similar attributes. As sort of like, one was like obsessive behaviour, sort of compulsive eating and things like, I can't remember what they all were, but for Van Lin, she seemed to focus on the compulsive eating aspect, and it was like, oh, I can't remember what I was going to say. It was about sort of how, I don't know, because I looked it up on the internet of like what obsessive behaviour would sort of originate from, and from what I could gather, it's, you know, from a constantly being told or put down or being ridiculed, or, you know, just that constancy to it, and just like to the point where you start to believe what other people are saying. I don't know if that's the same for Van Lin, because, you know, I can't even begin to understand what she's been through, but I was trying to figure out, because I suddenly realised a lot of the things she'd been talking about I've sort of experienced in the oddest way. I feel like properly neurotic now. But like things about like obsessive eating, I mean, hers was different. Like, it was well, I've done that before, I gotta admit that. I got really fat when I was younger. And it's strange because my brother started sort of criticising me and always telling me I was fat. I think before I actually got fat, but he was always like, I think maybe just because he was insecure himself. I'm not really sure why though, that's the one I don't understand, is I think I've become pretty insecure because of the way he used to be with me. But I'm not really sure why he has such low self-esteem, because honestly our parents are like wonderful parents. I don't really understand it. Anyway, so yeah, I was trying to think of like that, and yeah, I started getting really big, because I don't know why, I just ate all the time, and it's like, this is one of those things, like when I'm down, I eat and I eat and I eat, and honestly, like, horrifically, it's horrible. Like, it is like comforting almost, but it's not comforting, because while you're doing it you feel like, oh, I'm actually disgusting, this is horrible, I don't even want this food, it makes me feel sick, but you can't stop. It's really weird. Mine was always like crisps, like embarrassing as it sounds, I have eaten 2 tubes of Pringles in a row before and still like eaten more, which is a bit gross. But yeah, and then so I got into that quite a while. I hadn't really noticed this before. I kind of thought, I mean, it's not like it's abnormal, it's not like I'm really weird, hopefully but you know, it's not like I've had some sort of horrific traumatic childhood experience, because I haven't. All I've had is just like bullying from my brother, really, that's it. But like, I remember it kind of, all of this, well, it didn't start before we left Hong Kong, but like, I know it was much before we left Hong Kong, but I remember when I came over from Hong Kong for the first time, and like I started going to school in England, I went to this school called the Downs School, where like it was like 4 girls in my year and the rest were boys, and it was the weirdest experience I've ever had, and I hated it there. I really hated it. There was this one girl who sort of bullied me, not properly, you know, just used to like make me feel outcasted, because obviously you're at that age where you're kind of like, boys smell. And so like, you know, there were 4 girls and I felt completely outcasted from them, which was horrible. And like, I don't know, I just remember this one experience which was just horrible when I was younger, and like, I used to have nightmares about it. Like, I think I'm quite a sensitive person.